Hey beautiful people, welcome back to Refining with Jessie, the life coach. So today we are going to be talking about, is change offensive? Like the word change, when someone says, oh, you haven't changed, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? So recently I had a discussion with someone that was telling me about a discussion they had with someone else. And it was mentioned that this person has not changed. And they were super happy and prideful of that. And I had asked, well, why is that a good thing? And they felt super offended and attacked that I was saying, why is that a good thing? So let's talk about that, because I feel a lot of people go through this. So the fact that I question why do they feel it's a good thing put this person super on the defensive. And they were angry. They were literally angry that I questioned such a thing. And I was baffled by that. But I also realized that there's so many people that have this set mindset. They want to be that person that you say, oh, that person's still the same person. Like I knew her or him back in the day and they're still the same person. I was kind of baffled by the response, the fact that they got super defensive and they were angry. They were literally angry that I had questioned such a thing, that I had, the audacity to say, well, why is that a good thing, right? And I started thinking about this and realizing that a lot of people get offended when you say the words, you have changed, like it's a bad thing. And the thing is that it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. When someone tells you that you have changed, that's a great thing, because I've mentioned this in another video. As you go through life and as you learn life lessons and as life happens to you, right? Because certain things just happen to us that just change us. They will automatically change us. And you decide whether you want to change for the good or for the bad. Whether you want to change, to better yourself, or do you let yourself become bitter by certain circumstances or by certain scenarios and certain people who have come into your life, right? We have that power to decide whether we're going to be bitter by those experiences or we're going to be better, or we're going to learn from those experiences. And of course, if you choose to do better and learn and see the higher picture and understand that it's part of your growth, it's part of your soul's evolution, you will be in a better position. But some people don't see it like that. They, when other people tell them like, you're not the same, person I used to know, or you're not that guy or the girl I used to know from this block or from this time or from back in the day, they literally get offended. And that's nothing to be offended about. That's something to be proud of. You should be wearing that crown, because if you're not changing in life, you're not growing. There's a lot of people who get super comfortable. They get very comfortable where they're at. They get comfortable with who they are. And when you get super comfortable, there's no growth in your life. And when there's no growth in your life, that means there's just no expansion. And you stay where you've always been, right? So in order for you to go towards anything you want to accomplish or anything you want to conquer or something you are wishing and hoping for, that usually requires a different way of doing things, right? So if you've always thought the same way and did things in the same manner and approached everyone in the same perspectives, you will always have the same. And that's boring. Who wants to go through life having the same and being the same person? I mentioned this in another video. Who you are throughout life should always be changing and it should always be evolving. Who you are at 20 should not be who you are at 23. Who you are at 23 should not be who you are at 25. Who you are at 25 should not be who you are at 30, and so on and so forth. Why? Because we are experiencing life. We are going through life experiences. And every time we experience something through life, we should be learning and growing from that experience, especially if it is bad. A lot of people, when they go through something bad, they're like, okay, this has happened to me and it sucks, and I want to just push that experience out of my reality. Well, you can push it out as in trying to forgive it and forget it, but that's what you should be doing, forgiving it and forgetting it. Yeah, push it out, but don't push out the lesson. When you push out the lesson, you stop your growth, you stop your expansion throughout life. So when people say you're not the same person, you should never be offended by that. You should be happy. That means you are doing the work. You are doing the work. You are elevating as a person. You are going through personal growth. I know, personally myself, I'm definitely not the person I used to be. Within this year, there has been a super big amount of growth within my life, and my perspectives have changed, my mindset, my belief systems have changed, how I deal with people has changed. And I think that's a great thing. And it's something that everybody should be going towards. So in order to have something you never had before, you have to do something you've never done before, right? And that includes your mind. That includes your mindset. That includes your belief systems. Your belief systems should be growing and changing as you go and grow through life. They should. And if your belief system hasn't changed since you've been 20 or 15 years old or, 21, 25, what is that saying about you as a person, as your personal growth, as your personal evolution, as your soul's journey as a spiritual being? It's saying that you haven't learned anything. You have stayed, in that age bracket, that mindset. And usually that's immaturity, right? There's so many life lessons that we learn from the age group of 20 to even 30, right? I always say, I was asking this question not too long ago. I was at a party and we were celebrating a birthday party and we were talking about milestone birthdays. And I was speaking to my cousin and she recently turned 30. And, some people are always like, oh my God, I just turned 30. It's like a horrible thing. And I think 30s are your best time of your life. Like, I'm in my 30s. In your 30s is the time frame that you grow and develop into the person you are meant to be. And we were discussing that, I feel like your 20s is that time where you get everything wrong. It's that time that, you enjoy yourself, you live your life, you have those, experiences, but that's the time that you're growing. That's the time to make the mistakes. That's the time to evolve as a person. That's your time that you're enjoying yourself and everything's carefree and everything is like, yay, life is great. You're not thinking really of consequences. You're not thinking so much of the future. But when you kind of elevate in your, you get to that bracket of your 30s, that's when, the real work, I feel, of like your soul growth really starts happening for you. That's when life becomes a little more serious and you start investing more in your dreams. You start investing more in your goals. You start thinking about your future. You want to lay foundations. You want to lay the groundwork. And, and it should keep on going up. By the time you reach 40, you should be completely comfortable within yourself. I mentioned in another video how as you get older, you care less and less about drama and, and chaos, and you just seek peace and serenity in your life. You want stability, stuff that is inconsistent and stuff that's bringing you chaos and controversy and drama. You just don't want to be a part of it. You just come to a different stage of your life where you just seek and crave that peace and you just want stability. That doesn't mean you stop being fun. That doesn't mean you stop enjoying certain things. It might mean that for certain people, right? Because certain people, once they start settling down and putting down foundations and putting down roots, they just want to leave certain things behind, and that's okay, right? But it does change, and as you keep on elevating and growing, you should be learning these lessons and you should be changing as a person. So guys, never get offended when someone tells you you have changed. That is a great thing when people notice your growth. That means that they're noticing your growth. That means they're noticing that you probably left certain things behind, certain people behind, certain mindsets behind, right? And that's always a good thing. A lot of the times when we interact with different people, they will change us as well. And they should be changing you for the better. Like I said, not to be bitter. Every time you come into a circumstance with people who do not value you, not see your worth, just understand that they're in a different phase of life, right? At the moment, it's hard to understand that, right? Especially if it's someone who you love and someone who you care for and someone who you value and you would treat them differently. At the moment, you're not going to feel that way. But if you are doing the work, right, and releasing these pains and releasing these people and releasing these mindsets and illusions that we are presented with, you will get to that point where you start seeing things from a higher plane, from a higher ground, and understand that they are just still walking their path and they have not got to the place that you have gotten to if you are there, right? If you're looking back at people and saying, well, why would they treat me that way? Or why would they do that? Or why would they say that? Or why did they do this? Well, they're just probably not where you're at life. And when you completely come to terms with that and you come to peace with certain circumstances, behaviors and actions that other people throw at you, you come to that peaceful place of understanding. Like, this is the way it has to be. This happened so I can learn this. This happened so I can go this way. This happened so I can grow. This happened so I can change. If I didn't have this growth or this change, I would have never went towards this. If I didn't have this growth or this change, I would have never met this person. If this would have never happened to me, if I would have never got fired from that job, I would have never went towards my life's purpose, and so on and so forth, right? You get to that point where you become totally at peace with what has happened, and you start seeing why it has happened. When you're in it, not so much. But when you get to the point where you understand your journey, you're understanding your growth, you're understanding that you have changed, and there's a reason why you have changed, and there's a need for you to have change, you come to peace with all those past, whether they were mistakes or you see them as failures, right? Whatever it may be, you come to peace with that. So when people tell you you have changed, say, damn real, I have changed. I haven't gone through life's journey to remain the same person. I have not gone through ups and downs and battles to be the same person. I have not worked my ass off on my own self, my own consciousness, my own level of the personal development to stay the same. I have not worked so hard to go towards my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, to be the same person who's allowing, temptation and distractions to come in my life, right? Yeah, you damn real I have changed, and you should be happy that you have changed. So if people are telling you you have changed, take that as a compliment. Never take that as something negative. And if you're a person who believes that when someone tells you you have changed, it's a negative thing, start thinking of it and looking at it from a different perspective. Start doing that, because all that's saying is that they're starting to see who you truly are. Maybe you're starting to see for the first time who you truly are, right? Because it first starts internally. You have to change your perspectives. You have to change your mindsets. You have to change your belief systems in order for anything to manifest outside of you to reflect that change. So sometimes people are not quick to see that change in you. They don't start seeing it until you start changing your energy around them, right? Maybe you're not participating in the things you used to participating in. You're starting to switch up things. Those nights out, now you're switching it up for time of peace in your own home. Maybe you used to be a part of the chaos and the wild nights and the gossip, and now you're like, I don't want to do that. I'm all about peace, my serenity, and my, personal development. Maybe the times that you used to be a part of those drinking and the smoking and, hanging out, and now you're not about that. And you're like, I'd rather just hang out, with a small crowd, keep my circle small, keep it tight, because you are in a different space. You're in a different place. And that's when people start really seeing the change in you, right? When you start kind of pulling back and you start disconnecting from things you used to be a part of. That's when the growth starts reflecting outside of you, and people start taking and noticing, taking notice of what's happening within you. So sometimes it's not quick. They don't see it right away. And a lot of the times they take it as something negative, because like I always tell people, some people don't want you to change because your changes do not benefit them. That usually is the case. Or they haven't changed and they want you to stay stuck with them. Maybe they haven't learned the life lessons. Maybe they have not grown as a person. Maybe they're comfortable with being stagnant. Maybe they're comfortable in not growing. A lot of people get really, really settled when they are comfortable in specific energy. But when you are comfortable, getting real comfortable with where you live, how you work, how you do things, your mindset, the people around you, that keeps you stagnant, and that keeps you from growing and developing as a person. And usually that comes at the expense of your happiness, because our happiness is always on the other side of fear. And when we stay stagnant and get real comfortable, that's just our fear. That is our ego telling us, you know what, this feels really comfortable. I'm super comfortable not taking a chance. I'm super comfortable not taking that risk. I'm super comfortable not going towards that person that I know I deserve, but I'm scared to go towards them, right? That's what it does. That's what our comfortability does for us. It keeps us small, right? And if you're that person that's like, I don't want to be small anymore. I want to go towards big things, my dreams, my goals. I want to level up. I want to have more in life, right? You want it, you crave it, you desire it. And then the people around you are like, but you change. Why can't you just stay here with me? Boxed in, closed in, you know, having your eyes pulled over you, you know, having the illusions that this is all good and great because we feel comfortable. Because that's what that is. That is an illusion. That is an illusion that is being presented to us, that life is better on this side. Life is comfortable. Life is safe. And sometimes you need to just mix it up and throw yourself out there, right? To really get what you want. So never be afraid of change. That's what we are put on this earth to do. We are put on this earth to grow and evolve as people, as spiritual beings. Our soul wants that expansion, and our soul wants to live in true authenticity and true love, which is the other side of fear. And fear's best friend is being comfortable, being stagnant, and being stuck. You keep yourself there, you will always feel comfortable, but are you happy? That's what you really need to ask yourself. Are you happy? And if the answer is no, then it's time to start making some changes in your life. And don't be afraid of who you're going to disappoint or who you have to leave behind to go towards those changes. If they're not willing to go with you, then they are not for you. They were meant to stay there. Not everybody is meant to go with you on your journey. I have said this on so many videos, and I will keep on saying it because it is so true. Some people come into our lives just for a season, for a moment, and they are not meant to stay there for a lifetime. So don't be afraid and keep yourself back and keep yourself stuck to appease other people. The only person you should be worrying about is you and what makes you happy, and going towards the things that will keep getting you up there and leveling. Yes, change could be scary for some, and there are some that just embrace it. Some people love change. I'm one of those people that love change, so it's not scary for me. But I can understand the other side of it, especially when you are so comfortable where you are at. But you got to understand, in order for you to level up and become that person that you want to become, that's going to require change. That's going to require you to be brave. That's going to require you to be fierce. That's going to require you to leave certain things behind. Shed your skin, literally shed that skin to become a different version that you were meant to be. So guys, that is all I have for you today, and I will see you in my next one. Always go towards the side of love and keep on going towards change. Bye.